Well, good morning and welcome to the SHAC. Happy New Year. My name's Barbara Gray from Clarity here in the UK. And now I'm waiting for my friends to join me on this cold, blustery Monday morning. And it certainly is. It's blowing a hoolie out here. We've got flooding on the way into work early this morning. The fields are lakes. The fields are lakes to the left and the right. So hopefully it will stop. Otherwise, we won't be getting home this evening. Not a good situation. And of course, we've had so much building in the area. There's nowhere for the rain to go. Cellars flooded. Fortunately, we have a cellar. So it is how it is, isn't it? I hope that you are warm and dry. So come on in. And let's see, our friend Paul Church is in the building with us. The sound is nice and clear, he says. I'm glad to hear it. Hello from Idaho in the USA. Wow, it must be really, really early in the morning where you are, my dear. Rebecca, what's the time in Idaho? So come on in and tell us what the weather's like in Idaho. We are intrigued. It's good to have your company. Good morning, Jane. And good morning, everybody else. So we had certainly we had a big day yesterday. Those little stamp pens and Jazz's beautiful tiny stamps, they were well received. That show went off with a bang, didn't it? Didn't see that one coming. So Dave is busy. It's 3 a.m. in the morning. Rebecca, what are you doing? Good evening. 8 p.m. here in Australia, Debbie. Nice to have your company. Isn't it lovely? Friends from all over the world. I like it. Wisbech, Cambridgeshire. Nice part of the world. And it is trying to snow. Yeah, we had a little bit of snow at the weekend, but then it rained it away. Do you know, there was a difference in temperature on Sunday. It was like a 10 or 12 degree difference between the night and the morning. No wonder we don't know what's going on, eh? Schönen Gruß aus Deutschland, Marion, grüß dich. So we have our friend from North Germany is also in the building, and it's rain. Yeah, Regen heute. It's rain today. Yeah, it's rain, Wayne, eh? Nice to have your company. So we'll travel gently this morning because we've got a really busy road ahead this week. In fact, I think we've got a really busy road ahead for 2025. Looks like it to me. It's perfect weather for crafting, isn't it? When it's like this. And it's a perfect season for crafting. I think it really is. So 3 a.m. in Idaho. Yeah, I know, Paul. I caught that. Yeah, so yesterday, very, very busy. Lovely response, you know, and I can't tell you how relieved we are. You know, we were so excited. Grace was buzzing in New York. We were all just really stoked here. So thank you for joining me this morning. Thank you for joining in yesterday. Now, before I carry on, let me see. Okay, so we had our hunt, didn't we? Our Nutcracker hunt in December. It was our Advent Nutcracker hunt. Many of you took part in that. In fact, do you know that nearly 400 people submitted their answers? Nearly 400 people. I know. Thank you so much. You know, it's all about the community, really, and we're here to keep you company. It's going well. You know, it's going well. It's a little bit of a challenge. It's definitely a challenge, but we're getting there. I've been camped in for 3 days now. Okay. Sorry to hear that, Alison. Good time for crafting. Yeah, so it's been, you know, we've been planning ahead. We've got lots of goodness lined up. It started yesterday with our stamp pens. If you're wondering what on earth I'm talking about, I mean, I'm sure that most of you will have been there yesterday, but Sundays are Sundays. So let me tell you, the stamp pens, this is this Dave idea. And you may or may not have seen it. I'm going to show you anyway. And then, so today, right, this particular hour, if it's okay with you, we'll probably get on track a little bit, but I'm going to travel gently. I've got a plan for the shack, and it's pretty much in the same vein as it's always been, just a bunch of friends hanging out. I'm the bus driver. There are no experts in the building. It's just a place where we can get together on a Monday and on a Thursday. Monday at 10 in the morning, Thursday at 7 in the evening. And of course, since Create and Craft in Oundle folded, we're meeting you this afternoon, for example, Monday 10 now and 2, Tuesday, Paul, Groovy Tuesday and 2. So there'll be more Selly Telly in the afternoon, although this afternoon not so much. And then on Friday, 10 and 2. And what we want to do is, if we've got big launches or if we've got big news, big selling news, because obviously we've got to sell to survive. And so that we'll move that, anything new, we'll move it to the Friday. So that's the way we want to plan it now. Monday, SHAC in the morning, in the afternoon, visiting old things, making a plan. Tuesday, Groovy Tuesday in the morning, in the afternoon, visiting older things, bringing up, we've got such an amazing library of art and so many beautiful things. And when we were on telly, we were always peddling new. Well, we've got such an incredible, beautiful stuff in the cupboard that we just touched on and then raced on to the next thing. Well, we don't have that pressure now. So let's go back and have a look at it. Lots of you have already got it. So that takes the pressure off you at home, financially, because we know you want to support us, but there's only so much that you can spend on craft. So we don't want, we can't keep up with new. We don't want to either. So what we thought on a Monday afternoon and a Tuesday afternoon, we'll go back to some of our old favorites, because we've got some really beautiful gear in the 32 years. Do you know how much beautiful stuff we've got in the cupboard? So I thought we'd do that. And then on Fridays, if we've got a new launch, like we've got some fantastic new plates from Linda Williams, Richelieu lace, absolutely insanely beautiful. So that for Groovy, you see, it's been a while since we had a brand new launch, but we will reserve anything new like that for the Friday 10 and 2. Monday 10 and 2, Tuesday 10 and 2, Friday 10 and 2. And then, of course, it's the Sunday shows. And the Sundays, first Sunday of the month, 3 to 5, will always be new stuff. So there you go. That's it in a nutshell, really. Good morning. Oh, Jazz makes the best tea. Jazz makes the best tea. I mustn't say that too loudly, though, because Dave makes the best tea at 5 in the morning. Right, now, back to yesterday. If you weren't in yesterday, where were you in this weather? But so we launched these amazing stamps, and they came in this lovely slowdown box. Do you know, we sold over 200. See, I can tell you now, we sold over 200 of these little sets. Do you know how exciting that is for us? It's brilliant. Not to mention all the additional, and it's climbing. So now we're pedaling, to get the product out of the building. But, don't ever think that we're selling thousands of anything, because we're not. We didn't on telly either, It's real. This is a small family business. We're not some oligarchy. We're not Amazon, Yesterday, before we went live, Dave and I spent 2 hours gluing these. I was the peeler and he was the gluer. And that's what we did. So these are the stamp pens. Let me show you. And they work for little stamps, okay? And my job yesterday was to peel, there's a protective cover on here. So my job, because Dave he hasn't got he's got big farmer's fingers. He was responsible for gluing the ends in, and I was responsible for peeling the protective cover off here. I mean, don't get me wrong, Dave's done all the rest. I'm like stirring the gravy on this one. But they're brilliant. They really are. And I'm glad that you can see that when you get them, you'll get it. Okay. I was thinking about it yesterday, and we were talking about it because we're still excited on the way in today. The thing about it, the reason they're so excellent is because we've spent our lives holding pens. That's what we do. We write, right? We hold pens. It's the most natural, whether you're lefty like I am or a right-handed person, it's the most natural thing in the world for us to do. Okay. And the other thing is, what I said to Dave is, when you write, you don't apply a lot of pressure. So when you're using these for the small stamps, you just get a perfect image. You know, it's just so clever. Anyway, so what we did was, I'm just waiting for a few more people to come in, and then I'll announce the winner of the Nutcracker. Because you know, even though I'm talking about this now, I do know where I have to go, and I know that I started out in that road. It's the way my brain is wired. But I do remember that I've got to announce the winner of the Nutcracker hunt that we had on the website, where over nearly 400 people joined in. Yeah, but I'm telling you about this as well while we wait for a few more to join in. Otherwise, they'll miss that information. Right. So the other thing was, of course, Jazz designed these fantastic little builder wreath stamps, and they were built like little silhouettes. But the best thing was that because they fit perfectly, see, on the mounts, they're just beautiful for building these wreaths. Okay. And I even put a little how-to on the inside to show you how to build the wreath. It is pretty elementary, but nonetheless, it's good to know, you know, little tips and tricks. So, like I say, we sold over 200, well over 200 and climbing of these yesterday, which is quite something. There you go. And now we've got to wrap them and pack them. Yeah, it's exciting. Okay. So the winner, and I don't know if she's in today, but the winner, which was picked out of a hat, is Nahid Khan. There we are. Happy New Year, Nahid, if you're in the building. And well done to everybody else who got the answers right. And thank you for joining in. But you know there can only be one winner. And this year, it's Nahid. So huge congratulations. You all got the answers right, but we had to pick one. And this is the name that came out of the hat. So a £200 gift voucher for Clarity Goodies goes to Nahid. And Stuart will probably ring you, and we can make it a surprise for you and put it together for you, or you can pick it yourself. Maybe that's the way to go. All right. So there we are. Thank you very much for joining in. Ho, ho, ho. Happy New Year. Now I've got a year to think of something to do in December next year. Yeah, so it's a good start to the year, though, I think. Don't you? Now, let me see. What else did I want to talk about? All right. Are you ready for another year? We were talking about this year being the year of colour. So last year was the year of the alphabet, and in the SHAC we've been, you know, working through the alphabet, and we got as far as O, didn't we? So today we start with O. Okay. I don't want to stop midstream. That would be really rubbish, because an alphabet without O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X and Y, Z not so much, but you understand. If your name's Zara, you need a Z as well, don't you, Zara? Zara Axton, I mean, she'd be absolutely stuffed without the X, the T, the R, the Z. Yeah, we really need to do this just for Zara. I love the name Zara. I think it's beautiful. So what we want to do is continue with the alphabet, but then overlay color, and we're going to start with color. And during the course of the year, I'll try to show you lots of tricks and tips for colouring. Now, hands up, who's been here since the start of the SHAC? Because I'm sure that you will remember, when we started in the SHAC, we did a lot of colouring as well, didn't we? But now we get together only once or twice a week. The colouring's been a little bit neglected. We've done a lot of doodling, a lot of drawing, but we haven't really concentrated on colour. Here we go. Look, me. I know. Thank you. I'm really looking forward to another year, says Jane Telford. Well, so am I, So am I. And so we've got lots of things planned. And this week is going to be setting those plans in motion, moving forward. Hazel Edwards, lover. Me, she says. Yeah, I know. And what a community we have here. We're very lucky. Welcome to the newcomers. Just because you're new to the fold, that doesn't mean that you're not part of the crew, from the minute you get here. Nahid, she just figured it out. Congratulations, Nahid. Happy New Year. I'm sure Stuart will be in touch with you. Okay. So going to the colour and the letters, right? I thought, if it's all right with you, I've been thinking about this because I was going with O for something. O for O for O for O. Then I went to O for owl because I love owls. I think they're beautiful. And then I thought, because all the time I'm thinking about the colouring as well, and I thought, we've got the best owls in the world in our Mel Turner library, in our art library of Mel Turner designs. So if you remember, right, and if you've been here since the beginning, you probably have these postcards. You may remember that we started out with postcards. We started out with a great big colouring book. Do you remember this? See, and this ties in a little bit to look at this, 12 by 12. Do you remember when that was trendy to get great big colouring books? Thing about that is, I find this too big. Unless you've got a lot of time on your hands. See, I would take something like this and I'd chop it up. But let me see if I can let me show you. I know, hang on a minute, I knew that was going to happen. There you go, look, there's me owl. I was so proud of the owl when we coloured him in. And then I ran out of time. But I really would love to pursue this owl again. Jill Wilding, I thought we were colouring the alphabet poster. We are colouring the alphabet poster, but we're doing that on Thursday evening, Jill. That's in the calendar for Thursday evening. What is the calendar? What is the alphabet poster? I'm getting to it. Slow down, Jill. You're ahead of me. Back to O for owl. Right, so O for owl. What I wanted to do was look at these owls again, because I really haven't, I love doing them. And I think that they came out so nicely. And I don't think that a lot of us didn't really finish that job. And sometimes it has to be a bit about project completion. So for anybody who's new here, right, these are the postcards that we have. We've got 3 sets of postcards. We've got loads of them in the cupboard. Of course we have. There are 3 sets of postcards, and the postcards, they're great. They come like this. They're together, and then on the back they've actually got postcards, so you can send them, or you can use them as a topper. See, there's the owl now in a smaller format. And we worked on these, didn't we? See, you've got the ducks, you've got the mandarin ducks, you've got the geese, you've got the owls, magpies, geese, nuthatches. I mean, these really are quite something. And there are 3 different postcards with 3 different sets. So these are £5 each, or 15 if you buy all 3. So for anybody who's new, this is where I'm going to be exploring this. Okay, these are the numbers if for the individual ones. If you want to buy all 3, you only pay for 2. And the number there is 30404. That's the code for ordering them if you fancy it. Okay. That's if you've got them in the cupboard, fantastic. Okay. Look, Helen Tilly, I still have this book and postcards. Excellent. Well, it's time to get them back out of the cupboard again. You know, and this is what I've had a lot of time to think about this. I've got a house full of stuff that I've made and then jogged on to the next job, made, jogged on to the next job, invested hundreds of hours and thousands of pounds in products, and then jogged on to the next job in the name of TV and new and new and new. I'm not the only person that feels like this. And when I look back at the beautiful things, you know, this poster and colouring this in, that was again, you know, wanted to do it, didn't have time. There are only so many hours in the day, right? So this is a Thursday project, Thursday 7 o'clock. It's a date. If you've got them, fantastic. If you haven't get them, they're inexpensive, but they are the vehicle. They're A3 colouring posters. Even though they're large, the individual elements that you're working on one at a time are small. And that's really where I want to go, right? See, Jane uses the postcards when she teaches at the monastery in Manchester. Brilliant, brilliant idea. So back to these. We've got them in this size, which is a really nice pint-sized little format. And we've also got them in as bookmarks, which is another useful thing, you know. And these, you can chop these up smaller if you wanted to make ATCs. This is a perfect. You can't see what you've got here. Let me show you them coloured in, because then you'll really get the drift. But say, for example, you could buy, let's have a look. Paul did all this for me. If you want just the bookmarks, they're good as well. And you get the sleeves in there. You get the plastic sleeves for the bookmarks. Yeah. It's 30388 for the set. I can't remember what the price is on those. Paul will tell you. But if you wanted to get that, and that, then the number you want to look up is 31137. Okay. And what you'll see is this is a great colouring, little bite-sized opportunities. So I dug out my folder from when we started in the SHAC in 2020 during lockdown, when we were getting together. Bookmarks are £4.99, posters are £9.99. There we are, links posted. Okay, or you can use those numbers. Very good price. Okay, so when we were in lockdown and we started colouring in, we learned so much. And but we really did spend a lot of time on this stuff. So I want to show you, I've got a plan here, right? Because I want to show you what we did in lockdown. I can give you even the YouTube chapters if you want to go back and start again, you know, if you want to do that. But let me show you. What I did was I dug out some artwork as well, so you can have a look, check it out. We didn't do all of them, but we did plenty of them. So this was the nuthatch, right? Which is interesting. When you see, look, this is what we start with. This is where we headed, and this was our end game. Isn't that lovely? You know, that's impressive. Yeah. So when you look at that, you couldn't possibly imagine that there's that beautiful silver birch in there. Well, it could be any tree. I just imagined a silver birch. See, that's the thing with line art, and that's, I think, what's really exciting about taking this through and maybe revisiting it. So nuthatch, lots of tricks and tips in there. And if you were interested in looking at the YouTube, Paul kindly wrote it out. Episodes 28 to 31 is where we covered this, right? Interestingly, isn't it? Interesting. Okay. When you colour them, you see, you get a complete, here's another, just wanted to grab Linda Spencer's rendition. So it's the same postcard. Look how different, transformational, isn't it? Right, so I thought that we could have a look at some of these and just go through them. So this is what we did in the SHAC. This is what we did together, what we coloured in. Set 37 to 41, those are the chapters, right? What we ought to do, I think what I'll do is I'll get somebody here to write up when a little thumbnail of which picture and then the chapters as a download. I think that would be really useful for our friends at home, you know. That'd be handy, wouldn't it? So have a look at the cockerels. And Jane Telford, so she did loads of these, right? Here we go, look. Done with Barbara in the SHAC, Jane Telford. She wrote down all the colours. Look, absolutely marvellous. Now, here we go. Carol Pankstello, she did collage. Look at that. Using the same postcard. See? Brilliant. Here's another one. Jane Telford again. So she chopped it up, made it smaller. That would make lovely, just on its own, that one. Or that one. That one, not so much. That needs, well, maybe that one together would look good. So you see, there's so many different. Good morning from Chicago. Early morning there. 4 a.m. Crazy early. So I just wanted to show you to me, you see, what's interesting is how you can take something, just simple line art, and create something quite beautiful. And it's the size is right for me. These postcards are a good size. Mandarin ducks. Here we go again. Let's show you a couple of. There's a completed one again from Jane. And there's a nice one. I like that idea. Just isolating an area. Who did that? Tina Morris. Clever. Yeah. 47 to 51. So these are the chapter. These are the YouTube. These are the YouTube chapters, right? It won't take us long to put together a list. I liked doing this one. I enjoyed doing this one. This was the geese in flight. And you take that, for example, right? This was a good learning curve because we took this one and we whited out, you see, he was in front, right? And then we did a white out there, and then we were able to change. And we made lavender fields. Reminds me of Provence. Reminds me of, for some reason, that one reminds me a lot of France, French France. There you go. There's Jane's again. Really appreciate that Jane did every single one. There's another great one. Who did this one? Jane again. Yeah, Jane really got on board with this. Here's a lovely one. Tina Morris. See, now it's made into a card. Interestingly, you know, I like it a lot. Yeah. Paul says there's a list on the product of the episodes. I will get it moved to the downloads later today. There's a list on the product of the episodes. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Paul, but if you get it moved to the downloads, happy days. Okay, so, you know, moving on, that's that one. And then, okay, and now we get to our owls. These are the ones that I want to concentrate on. I really, really like the owls. So there he is, blank. You can't see much there at all. That's the one I'm going to work on. There he is, half done. See, I rather like art where there needs to be a little bit more going on here, but I rather like it when it's half done, you know? I think it looks good. And there it is, 3/4 done. I still haven't done the bottom bit. Ran out of time, always jogging on. It's the way my life rolls. Okay, but I really am pleased with the owls. And if you wanted to actually watch the video, 72 to 76. So interesting. I think it's okay to look. And then this is actually one that I did using mixed media. Look, I used the lace with the jelly plate over the top. That's nice too. But that was a thingy. That was a bookmark. Yeah. So that was that one. I'm just trying to show you what you can do with postcards. This isn't a hard sell on postcards. This is just showing you, right, set one, the magpies. There's that one. Then we didn't, for some reason, I couldn't find anything for the geese. Interesting, because I remember doing the geese. I remember doing it, but for some reason, maybe I didn't. If it hasn't got the dates on it, maybe I didn't. I definitely know I remember doing these, don't you? The garden birds. They're lovely. Look, Linda Spencer. That's a Tina Morris. She was getting on board with the doodle dies at the time. I can see that. Carol Pankstello, love the way she's done a really glossy. And there's a Jane Telford again, following the instructions to the letter, like any good teacher. Right? So that's that one. Then we've got the eagles. That was another one of my favourites. I like these two. I really enjoyed these. You can see here where the sets are. It's a Jane. She's good, isn't she? There you go. So that's a Jane. Looks just like mine. There's another one here. What have we got here? Linda Spencer. There's a Jane again. Look, just like mine. Well done, Jane. Proud of you. And there's another one by Sam. I think that was Sam. Looks like her writing. Sam Crow. There you go. I wrote to her this morning. I hope to hear back from her today. She's gone off the radar a bit, so I'm going to find her. There you go. These were a big hit. Do you remember these with the black in the background? I liked these hummingbirds. Look, this was when we really explored negative art. Look, wouldn't that make a lovely card, just like that? That bit on its own, there, you know, or that bit just on its own. See how, or doesn't that look sharp? You just take a little bit of something. Look, and then you explore the wings, and until you make the eye and the face, there's nothing there, is there? Isn't it amazing? I know, really impresses me. And then, of course, Jane, she completed it. Look. So you can really see how you can, look, stages. 1, 2, 3. It's quite good, isn't it? It's not quite good. It's brilliant. There we are. So actually, I'm going to pop Jane's in as a completed one in there. Nice. And then we've got these ones. I really enjoyed those. Oh, hang on a minute. I've got a couple of pieces of artwork to show you. Aren't they nice? Sonia Goodliff. Love that. Very beautiful. And then that'll be a Tina again. Yeah. We recognise that art. And then these were I remember doing this because it was watercolour. We used the Pergolina watercolours on that one, didn't we? Yeah, we did. Nice. Sonia. Very good. Jane Telford went large on that. See, you take the small art and then you can build it up, can't you? That was a good one. And this is a wild one. Sam Crow went for it, glazing. Mixed media. Very nice. And then we got the toucans. If you can, toucan. Remember that? There's the one that Jane did to completion. Nice. Don't think I didn't get there. No, I didn't get there, but I really enjoyed exploring the leaves. I remember. They're a funny looking bird, aren't they? Jane, I'm going to put yours in there. That's it. And then we've got a couple of finished examples of the toucan. Sonia again, that's a Tina. Great makers, aren't they? What a team of makers we have. And then we've got the kingfisher. I do love a kingfisher. I remember being with my mum and dad on the Thames on a boat once. First time I ever saw a kingfisher. Well, not that long ago. I couldn't believe it. I was so excited I nearly capsized the boat. They are like, it's like a flash of turquoise and they fly so fast. You know, just through the willows, through the hanging, the weeping willows. It was so beautiful. Moments to remember. So there you go. Jane, I'm putting yours in there again because you seem to have the project completion thing down more than me. Right, and then we went to these ones. These are cool, funky birds, look. So we've got funky birds there. Who did that? Carol Pankstello, Bright and Beautiful. Jane Telford, Bright and Beautiful. This is rather a fantastic one. I think that is a D. Paramore special. Look at that. That's using Copic pens. I know it. Yeah, lovely, isn't they? So this is all leading up to the fact that we're doing a year of colour. And then we sort of ran out of steam on this, didn't we? We did do the parrot. We did the parrot. I know we did. I just don't have him. I don't know then. Maybe we didn't do the parrot. We didn't do the robin. We didn't do these. But we've got some beautiful artwork to show off. Look, the last one I want to show you is the flamingo. I really like the flamingos and we didn't do them. So that's something we made. Look at that one. That is so beautiful. Hi, Barbara. I hope you are in the pink. Hugs, Jane. There you go. What a beautiful card. And there's a lovely one with that lace paper. That's D. Doesn't that look gorgeous? The point I'm making here is when you see line art, it doesn't speak to you until you inject the colour. And I guess what I'd like to do throughout 2025 is explore the way we inject colour into our line art. Or even if we don't use line art, we just play with colour. I think it's a really great way forward. And the other thing I wanted to show you, right, is with the bookmarks, because so we've established that you can use the postcards as cards, as postcards, as a learning exercise. You know, they're something that we can use to hone our colouring skills, but you get a beautiful product at the end of it. The bookmarks, again, they're also very lovely to use. What I really like about them, and I'd forgotten this, is on the back of the bookmarks, there's also, there's writing. See, it actually says on the back of the bookmarks, it's got different quotes. So try to learn something about everything and everything about something, Thomas Huxley. I don't remember doing all these things. You can never cross the ocean unless you have the courage to lose sight of the shore. I don't remember any of these things. You know, it's so exciting.
May I interrupt?
Yes, Paul.
So this list here is against the product on the website. We go to the postcards and I'll get that moved onto our download section later today.
Okay.
So we've already got it available there.
Is it?
Yeah.
All right. And where is it?
If you go to the postcards, when you look at the images of the artwork,
yeah.
it said,
oh,
fantastic.
I'll
just get it moved over to the
All
download
right.
to make it easier.
Thank you. Right. So there you go. Paul's just come in and given us a print off of that so that we can see exactly where we did what. And you can see it kind of fell in the water on Feathered Friends 3. So this might be something that we could explore, set 3. Yeah. Good. Thanks, Paul. But what I really love is the fact that look, you can colour the back in as same as you could colour the front in. So here you can see this one's done by Lynn. Wherever you go, no matter what the weather, always bring your own sunshine. And I don't even remember doing all these things. And that's the thing about it is you know, we've been so busy just ploughing ahead that you don't stop to sort of smell the roses. You don't stop to look at what it is. You know, I was looking at my photo, you know, on my iPhone, I've got a photo gallery, and I was scrolling through because I was looking for something in particular the other day. And I've kind of avoided it a bit. So I find it too painful when I see pictures of my dad. So I kind of speed scroll through those bits. But the other day I was looking, and I was something specific that I was looking at. And when I see the amount, oh, I know, it was a Parchment thing. Oh yeah, for the craft along next week. And so I knew it would have been like 3 or 4 years ago. But I was scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and I was looking at all the step-by-steps and the artwork and the cards and the development and the projects and the products, and it went on and on. And I thought, no wonder I'm worn out, you know. So I've got every intention of going back through some of the most beautiful artwork and designs that we've got, you know, just to free up and enjoy and give you a chance to go back in your cupboard. Because if you're investing at the speed that we're producing, then you're not really using your stash to its full potential either. And I'm all in favor of going back, because then that way it frees up more money and more time as well to develop and process and learn and just relax, you know. I know we need to make money, of course we do, but I do believe that we need to enjoy what we're creating as we go as well. And we've spent too many years now just going for it. So I think we need to pump the brakes a bit, come back. Remember, that was what the SHAC was all about traveling gently. You know, it was all about that. It was about calming down, getting out of our heads and getting with our hands, you know, enjoying the community. You know, there are no experts in this building, but I'm sure that nobody is going to feel uncomfortable if we revisit some postcards or if we revisit some colouring tricks, you know. I for one, am all in favour of it, you know, because I think there's a lot of muscle. Look at that one by Sam Crow. It's beautiful. Yeah. So she's used the back with the verse as the front. I know. It's clever. And I like that it's all grungy and, isn't it? And laminated. Yeah. Very good indeed. Do you know what? I might have to just use that one. I'm reading a good book at the moment. Okay. So there you go. That's my indulgence. That's my indulgence. Just to say what we're going to be using for for owl. We're definitely going back to that owl. But I also think it'd be a good idea if we drew the letter, because we are still moving forward on the alphabet. Right, let's have a look. So the first thing we need to do is check out the letter. So we've got loads of letters. We've been going through. We did N for nativity, didn't we? Again, I haven't finished that yet either. I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing. I've got to slow down, friends. I've got to slow down. I know that. I'm going to make myself ill if I don't. And I'm not some sort of martyr, but I know my own pace. I'm 65. I'll be 66 in March. I'm not 30 anymore. I know my own limitations, you know. And I also know if I'm spinning, so are a lot of you. Has anybody seen Ken today? Is Ken in the room? Where is Ken? Where is our friend Ken? Is he there? I know I'm not reading, but you know, sometimes people are conspicuous by their absence, aren't they? Is Ken with us, Paul? Can you let me know? Otherwise, I'll be on the phone to make sure he's all right. Okay, so I mean, that's the thing about a community, I think, you know, and it's about having what I would consider to be, if you like, it's like a home group. For anybody who's new to the SHAC, this is like a home group. I'm here, Barb. Thank you, Ken. There you go. See, and when you have a home group, what that means in my world is there's people are familiar and people they become friends. There's a lot of banter between you all, you know, and that's so important. That's as important as anything that we're doodling together or drawing or coloring, right? The community is key, because it means, you know, that if somebody goes AWOL or disappears, then you, like I just said, oh, hang on a minute, where's Ken? Or where's Helen Tilly? Or, oh, hang on, where's Jan? You see, where's Jane? And you kind of notice people by their absence when they are a regular visitor to the group. So it's a good way of staying in touch with people as well, you know. Now, on to the letter O. So O's easy, isn't it? It's drawing round a circle of some description. So let's just stick to the plan, stick to what we always do. We'll at least draw the letter O today. Okay, okay, O for okay. Let's draw the letter O. Right, and so what I'm going to do is go right back to the letter A. And then the other, I kind of thought about it in my head, and I realized that C is almost like an O, but not quite. And then I did my O. So how to arrive at this? Loads of different possibilities. You know, listen, you could go and draw around a cup and then draw around a smaller glass. You can freehand it. You can use a compass. O's are really oh so easy, right? Now, let me just get I've got so much gear on this table. Excuse me. Oh dear, there's a rattle. Excuse me, let me just put my hand over the microphone. Right, there's another thing that you can use to draw, which is great when you're on tracing paper. And actually, if I'm not mistaken, during lockdown, we had a download that had loads of circles. This was before the embedders came to our world. But I can't find the download. But I know that there's a download that looks like this. So that would be useful. You don't need to buy the embedders. If you've got the embedders, then of course this is in there as well. If you've got the embedders, then you've got all these shapes, you know. So you're going to find something in there, aren't you? These are the nested embedders. So these are good as well, right? That'll be a good one there. See, draw around that. Or draw around the inside. I think that is the answer. Okay, so I'm going to draw around the inside of that one. Yeah. Right. So it's whatever you've got in the cupboard that's round. But to get the lines... Oh, hang on. I know what's going to happen here. Right. Let's just remember how we did it. So we take our tracing paper. We put a piece of copy paper. Hang on, let me just get a bit of copy paper. Because I'm working with white now, I don't want it to flare up. I'm going to change the settings on this camera. Right, so then I'm going to pop that in there like so. I will get it sorted. Right, so now what I've done is I've got the clean tracing paper, I've got the letter A, and then I've got a piece of copy paper. Right, and I'm using a tracing paper. Right, so if I do that, you can see that's the tracing paper. Okay, and you know, if you're going to get into it with us, then there are a few things you do need. And the tracing paper, look, it's 30334. That's the item code on the website. 30334. Top quality, really beautiful, blimmin' good price, 50 sheets. Okay, that we can supply you with. Okay, so what we're going to do is take our ruler, and The letters, for those of you who are new to the fold, the letters to the top are either 2 3/4 inches or 7 centimeters. There you go, 7 centimeters top to bottom. So what we'll do is we'll pop a line in at the base. That's the base line. Then we'll put the line in at the top at 7 centimeters. Okay, like that. Then we'll put a line in at 4 centimeters. I've already done it, see, so I'm cheating now because all I'm doing is penciling it back in. So that gives me my lowercase, that gives me my uppercase, and that gives me the bit at the top of the writing, because it always looks better if it's a little bit higher, if you're going to do that. So once I've got my top and my bottom, so to speak, so I can get rid of that, put that back in the file. Now comes which, so you could use the download that I'm sure there was a download, right? Or I can just use this. If you've got your, you can use the center line. No, it's not the center though, is it? Right. Let's have a look. I need to get 1, 2, 3. Just make sure we're in the right place. Just get it basically in the middle. Let's have a look. I just need to make sure it's the same line. If it's that one there, let's have a look. I reckon it's that one. Let me just check. If I come around like that, yeah, it's that one. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's the 7th one. Okay, so it's the 7th one. So what's a good exercise is in drawing is freehand, isn't it? So this is a really great exercise in drawing circles freehand, because what you're doing is you're coming along and you can go from point to point to point, which is a really good thing to have a grid. You know, it gives you a good arc. So what you're doing is, as you're doing this, as you're going round, what I'm looking at, see, I keep my hand on it, but what I'm looking at, let me just move this book. I need a bit of swivel. I need to be able to swivel with a, see, so then I'll come back there and then I'm looking at the road ahead, which is a good thing to do, philosophically speaking, right? It's like when you're on a motorbike, which has been a while now since I was on a motorbike, but what you do is you look at the road ahead. You've heard me say this before. You don't look at the wheel. If you look at the wheel, you start to wobble. But if you look at the road ahead, so what I'm doing is, rather than looking at the pen or the pencil, I'm looking, if I'm here, I'm looking there. And if I'm here, I'm already here with my eye. So I'm looking around. Let's go 2 in, right? Let's go again from here, right? But play the game. Look, you'd be surprised how easy this is. You look a little bit ahead, like this. There you go. It's a piece of cake when you look a little bit ahead. There. So it's a good exercise in freehand. I reckon that should be all right. There you go. That's pretty good for a freehand O. You see, now failing that, I could always take this, because it's exactly the same size, and I could just draw into that, couldn't I? But I like the idea of being able to do an O like so, an O like so. Let's go smaller now. Now I'll go to that one, right? So again, we're going to go from there to there, and I'm going to just keep my eye on the road ahead. There you go. Nice. This is a good one. Looks like an owl's eye. I'm right up for doing the owl. Let's go again. I'm going to use the same thickness, even though it's a smaller. There you go. So you turn the paper. There. So that's pretty cool. There we go. There's your O. All ready to go. I think so. Easy. You know? And this is it. I didn't go to art college. and I'm sure that most of you didn't either. And we didn't read the rule book, you know. I certainly didn't write it. And so, you know, there's a lot, it's quite freeing not having read the rule book, because you just figure it out, don't you? You know, there are no purists here. You know, if I need a circle and I need to draw around a pot, well, guess what? I'll just find the right size pot. If I'm in the kitchen and I've got loads of glasses, well, guess what? I'll just find the right size glass. You know, you use what you've got to hand. And, you know, does that make us not artists? I don't think so. You know, just because we didn't go to university, art university, I went to university, I didn't go to art college. Does that make me not an artist? I don't know. Art's a funny word, isn't it? Hey, let's just call ourselves makers and creatives, because we certainly are that. We are makers and we are very creative. And creative in as much as I can make something out of nothing, can't you? Out of very little. That's how I see it, you know. I think it's that ability to make something out of something that you wouldn't think you could make anything out of, if that makes sense. Yeah, there's a lot to be said for that. I enjoy that. And I really like taking paper, you know, like the online workshops, the collage workshops, you know, just to take pieces of paper and then cut them up and end up with those beautiful collages, you know. And all we use was a Pritt stick and a few bits of paper. If you think about it, yeah, that's quite something. You know, and I get a kick out of that, you know, I get a buzz off that, don't you? So yeah, so this year is going to be a year of using colour in a way, you know, in the traditional way. I'll teach you how to shade. I'll teach you how to inject colour into negative art. We could do some mixed media. I'm going to do some online workshops to do with collage in the, you know, in the pure sense of the word. Coller in French means to glue. So we're definitely going to do some gluing. I do like paper art. I'm a paper artist. There's no doubt about it. I like pottery. We're not going to do that. But I do like paper. Paper's so creative, isn't it? You know, tissue paper, rice paper, watercolor paper. Yeah, there's just loads of different papers available. Yeah, so we've done our letter O. Now let's have a look. So I'm just setting up the year ahead here, friends. So I've done that. I've done that. Now, big treat this week. We've got our friend Janice Phillips in the building, which I'm really looking forward to. She's not been down here before. So Janice is coming down from up north, and we're going to spend the day together because, you know, we're developing a range of stamps for her. Very beautiful. I've been telling her for years that she's a creative, and now we're taking the bull by the horns. And I was looking at the stamps that we're working on with Jazz this morning. Absolutely gorgeous. You're going to so love these. So Janice is coming down on Thursday, and we're going to take a good look at those. And then we're going to do a Facebook Live from here. You know, rather than her shoot all the way back up to Leicester and try and get up there in time, I said, well, why don't we just plumb it into why don't we just plumb it? She actually suggested it. Why don't we just plumb into your system? I said, well, why don't we? Best of both worlds. And then that way she can relax and we can spend a bit more time together on her stamp development, which is important as well. So that's that. And then the other thing, I'm looking at all these bits that I wanted to talk to you about. So that's this week on Thursday. And then Thursday evening, we're going for it. We're going to start on the letters. Why don't we start on the O? Okay, we'll start on the O for orchid. We'll start on the O for orchid on Thursday evening. Real simple, gentle, tiny art, which is what we're going to talk about this afternoon as well. Got some new stuff there. So then let's see, link for the Circles Grid download. Okay. Paul's given us a link for the Circles Grid download. Well done. I lost my place. Oh, yeah. So on Wednesday next week, this is what I was scrolling through all my photos for. I want to get back to some parchment art. Me, I know I'm not a part. Well, I say I'm not a parcher. I am a parcher. And what was interesting was when I went back through my work looking for something in particular that I'd made for my mum, right, years ago, I was amazed at how much parchment I did in the beginning. I did so much because there was only Paul and me, really. You know, there was Paul and myself. Then Tina came on board, bless her. And then Linda. And then the big players came in like Linda. And then, of course, I stepped away. And then we bought Pergamano. And so I went back to stamps and, you know, what I do best. And but I was amazed at how much parchment I did in the beginning when we didn't have a big team. Yeah, yes. So I'm going to get my old toolbox out and see, because I have this theory that you don't forget how to ride a bike. It might be a little bit wobbly to begin with, but I think you get into it, you get into the groove pretty quickly. So I was thinking the next Wednesday it would be nice to do a craft along, okay? And happy news. Many of you may remember Louise. Do you remember Lou? She was one of our team, and then she moved into London for a while, but she's back in Edenbridge. So I've got a meeting with her at 3 o'clock. I'm hoping to get her back on the parchment team as well, which would be brilliant because she is so good at it. Louise Golding, very good indeed at what she does. So watch this space. But next Wednesday, what we're going to do is a parchment coaster craft along. So here's my coaster, and I need something to fill it with. See, small art, 4x4, easy. So we're going to go for cutting, and we're going to make a really simple, well, I say simple. If I can do it, it can't be that hard. Okay. So there is a download of this, a craft along. One of these is going out with every order, so you know, but I'm sure that Paul will give you the link so you can see the ingredients. Most of you will have this. And I thought it'd be really nice to spend an evening. What are we making in real time? We're making this coaster. Whether or not we add the word mum is entirely up to you. But the idea, right, is to learn how to picot cut those open areas, right? And the reason that I wanted to bring this to light, and so that you get the bits together as well that you need for this job, because you need the scissors, you definitely need the scissors, you need a 2-needle bolt, you're going freehand, so you don't need the grids really, you can go freehand on this. You need a 2-needle bold or a 2-needle fine so that you can peak. You need the scissors and you need that one or the other. The 2-needle fine gives you a more delicate picot, but there's a substantial difference. We've got both of them. We've got 2-needle bold and 2-needle fine. You need the embossing tools from the starter kit. You need a soft mat. Starter kit's a good starting place for this. You know, you need a coaster, and you know, we'll just do it together. But I thought it would be a really nice idea to get you going with what we need, because that's on the 15th. That's the Wednesday. 16th is the Thursday. So on the Friday, remember I said at the beginning of the hour, on Fridays, if we've got a big launch or we're doing something new, it'll be on the Friday. Right, so hold this thought. Next Wednesday, we're doing this little craft along. Easy street, I did it. Yeah, still proud of it. Love that Mum always has it on her dining room table. Love that. But on the Friday, we're launching. Remember I said at the beginning, those Richelieu plates that Linda Williams has done, the lace plates? Right, well, that's where this 2-needle bold, 2-needle fine, this cutting trick is the the linchpin of that lace cutting system. So I thought I would tee it up with a really simple craft along before we launch her exquisite plates. They are absolutely beautiful on the Friday. Okay, so that is how it's going to work. So if you want to join me, it's all free. That's free. And other than that, I think I've said everything I want to say. I've covered everything. I know we didn't do any colouring. We didn't even get to an owl, but the owl is waiting for us to it-to-woo. Thank you for joining us. I will see you, if you've got a chance, this would be really worth joining in at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Remember, 10 and 2, 10 and 2, 10 and 2. This afternoon, Paul and I are going to introduce a new idea, new year, new idea. And we've already put the Facebook group together this morning. There's a new Facebook group, and it's called Clarity Stamp Mini Makes and ATCs. Clarity Stamp, go look for it now. There's a Facebook group, Mini Makes and ATCs. And we are going to start, because there are ATC groups, there is an ATC group, there is a PTC group, Parchment Trading Cards, and we've got a new idea, okay? And it's all around community, it's around building confidence, it's about finding your mojo again, it's about small art, bite-sized art, handleable art, achievable art, okay? Small things like ATCs, PTCs, and beyond, okay? So I'll repeat that slowly. The group, the new Facebook group, that there are only half a dozen of us in there at the moment, and that's the administrators. Jane Telford will be a key player here. Elizabeth Goldsmith will be a key player here. These are the ladies that are sorting out the swaps for us. They do and they will. We've all got that all in place already. You don't have to join in the ATCs. That's important that you know that. When you join that group, it's all about mini makes. It's not mandatory. It's an option. It's a possibility, but there's a lot more going on around those small makes than just the ATCs and the PTCs. That's just an extra, a bonus, a Brucey bonus, okay? So if you're going to join the group, you have to be approved, because we vet it, we make sure it's a safe community, just like this one. We've always got, Grace is always trolling, making sure, going through, making sure, policing that everything is safe, there's nobody in there we don't want, you know what I mean? So it's called Clarity Crafts. Let me get this right. Paul, help me out here. Clarity Crafts, Mini Makes and ATCs. Look for Clarity Crafts, Mini Makes and ATCs. And while you're in the enrolling and joining mode, don't forget to like and subscribe here, like and subscribe, follow on YouTube. And if you go to our website, on the front page, it will say right on the front page, on the landing page, be in the know. If you click that and you sign up there, then we will send you emails every week telling you where we are, where to find us. We won't hound you, but if there's a special offer or an event, that's how to stay in touch with us. Now that we don't have the TV channel, we are the TV channel. This is it here, okay? And that email will be the connection between yourselves and us. So worth signing up for, so you know what's going on. There you go. And I think I'm just about talked out now. Time for a coffee. Lots of love. Thanks for joining us. And don't forget, 2 o'clock this afternoon. In the meantime, go on over and sign up for the Clarity Crafts Mini Makes and ATCs. Thanks, Paul. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.